Hey there, how are you? In this video I want to share with you an exercise that you can use to dissolve trapped emotions that are keeping your body in a state of survival, that are knocking you out of your balance and are not allowing you to heal. This is specifically for you if you're someone right now who has a chronic illness or a condition or a disease that you are battling with and you are wanting to do the deeper work. You're noticing that your thought patterns are very much intense. There's lots of overwhelming thoughts that are negative. There are probably some traumatic experiences or some emotions that you've experienced in your life that you feel like you're still holding on to, and you want to let go of those and begin to rewire them with new patterns that support you. So that's what we're going to cover in this video. Now, hopefully this lovely helicopter will have flown over us once I get into this exercise. But if you're new to this channel, my name is Ollie, and it's my job to help you heal by releasing these old patterns, these old subconscious blocks, this sense of being stuck in a state of survival, and moving you back into balance by rewiring how you think and how you feel. So that's what we're going to cover in this with a specific exercise. Now, this is quite helpful if you have got a pen and paper for this exercise, but it's not by any stretch essential. So we're going to call this the dissolving exercise. Okay, now just to give some brief context here, what this is that if you imagine that every time you have a thought, there is an associated emotion that you feel within your body, and it's the emotional aspect of it. The more intense the emotion that we have with a thought, the more we hold on to it as a memory. Now, the intensity can be polarized in a positive way or a negative way. So for example, when we've had traumatic experiences within our lives, we tend to remember them. Okay, now if they're super intense, we almost disassociate from them because they're so intense, but our body keeps the score of that memory. And in a lot of cases, the memories we have within our lives, we remember them because of the intensity of the emotion that we had at that particular point, right? Where our brain takes a snapshot and stores it as a memory. So it could be sometimes even a certain type of music, a song that we hear, takes us straight back to the moment where we were feeling elated, or we were feeling grief, or we were even feeling apathy. Just any emotion that is intense, we tend to remember the moment that we had it. So every single thought, right? For example, if you think of one person in your life right now that you really care about, as soon as you think of that person or try and even just bring it into your consciousness or hold an image of that person in your mind, you'll notice that there's different emotions associated with one person in comparison to another person. And there's a whole scale of these two. So we often have been led to believe that our thoughts are separate to our emotions and we can just be thinking. But when we think, whether we know it or not, we are constantly feeling. I have people that tell me that they really struggle to feel certain emotions and they can't feel emotions. And that's not necessarily true, because for a lot of these people, they find it very easy, even though they don't even know they're doing it, to feel anxious, to feel frustrated, to feel hopeless, to feel guilty, to feel a sense of shame, to feel sad, right? To feel that grief. So what I want you to understand is that the thoughts we have are attached to emotions, right? And it's this combination of a thought and emotion that when we continue to repeat it over and over again, and we think about something and feel something, we imprint it in our subconscious mind and it becomes a belief, right? That thought and that emotion, you tie them together, you get a feeling. When you think about something, the emotion comes up and then you feel what that's like. Even now, if I could say to you, think of the most beautiful place you've ever been to that you loved, where you felt amazing. Picture it in your mind and notice how your body reacts to you go into that place. Right? Your breathing will change. The muscles in your body will relax, which means the chemistry within your body is actually changing. So let's get to the exercise, but I want to get that context across because a lot of people are unsure as to how this works. They know they've got these blocks, they know they have their thoughts and their feelings and their beliefs are limiting them in how they can heal themselves. But that's just one thing to remember. The exercise is simple, and we'll use your current life. You can use your life right now to do this. And what I want you to do is to just bring up into your mind, into your periphery, something that's really worrying you right now. And you'll know what it is. It should come up instantly. Just take some time and think and let the things come up in your mind that have been bugging you. Okay? Just settle yourself down and just let it come up. You haven't got to go looking for it, but just let it come up. Things that have been on your mind. And what I want you to do, I really want you to, if you can, try and pick out what that dominant thought is. So there'll be a thought that is associated with what's been on your mind, right? Whether it could be related to the pain that you might be in, it could be worrying about your future, it could be a strained relationship, it could be financial stress, whatever it is, I want you to simply write it down, okay? As if it was written out on paper. You're getting your thought and you're just putting that thought onto paper. Okay. And by the way, you can pause this at any point you wish. I want you now to go back and read the thought back. Okay? You can pause this video, just go and read it. Now notice how you and your body react to just reading that thought. Can you feel how your body changes? And what I want you to do is just read that thought out loud, if you can. If you're obviously in somewhere public, you can do this in your mind, but it's better to sort of get this out, because you're spotlighting these unconscious thoughts that are running you, right? Because if we don't spot them and dissolve them, they start to run us. If we keep unconsciously thinking about all of these things that are stress-based, our body keeps reacting in this stressful state, and we're keeping our body in fight or flight. And no human organism, right, or organism in general, but no human is designed to be in a constant state of stress. We can experience stress for short periods of time, and then we can rebound and recharge and carry on with our life. But if we're in a constant state of stress, this is where we begin over time to move into a state of dis-ease. And this is where all these problems occur, where people have been experiencing this chronic stress for such a long period of time, and it's starting to make them sick, and it's starting to affect their life with pain, with strange symptoms, right? With sleeping issues, all these sorts of things going on in their life. So I want you to just bring this up. The summary of this video is to bring up in your periphery what's on your mind, okay, and write it down and read it out loud and notice the reaction that you have within your body. As you read it, you might feel some tightness in your chest. You might feel it in your solar plexus. It could be in your throat, your forehead, even in your gut. It could be anywhere. But as you read it, notice your reaction. Notice if you feel like a pulling, a tugging, or like a resistance to it. And what I want you to do is, as and when this resistance comes up, this feeling comes up, I want you just to sit with it. I don't want you to try and do anything to it. You're not trying to get rid of it. You're not trying to stop thinking about it. You're not trying to remove it. You're just surrendering to it. You're just giving it the floor. Okay? And you'll notice that your body, when you just kind of say, right, I'm just going to surrender to this. I'm giving this the floor, whatever. I'm not in that emotion. I'm just observing it. I'm letting it be. And just notice how your body begins to relax with it. And it might take some time. This might take repetition over a couple of days, couple of weeks. But each time you do this, you will begin to feel a sense of space, right? A sense of lightness. And that is because this is an old subconscious program that you're putting the spotlight on, and you're consciously bringing it into your attention. You're writing it down, you're saying it, and you're letting the feeling come up without it just being reactive, where it comes up and you react without even knowing why you're reacting. And this conscious process allows you to let go of a lot of these programs and these things that are on your mind, which are just running you. Because how we think dictates how we feel, and how we feel dictates the actions that we take. The actions that we take create the results within our lives. Okay, so just use this dissolving exercise, especially if you're overwhelmed. Just sit there and, okay, I'm overwhelmed, I'm frustrated, I'm tired. What is on my mind? What's frustrating me? Write it down. Get it out of your head. Read it back to yourself. Sit with this. And just notice as it begins to dissolve. And once you feel it dissolve, just go back and read it out loud again. You're not trying to magnify the feeling. You're not trying to constantly feel it more. You're just letting it play out in your body. It just wants to be seen. And go back and read it again. It should feel a little bit lighter. If it's not, just sit with it again. And each time you will get to the point, if you do this enough, and it won't take a huge amount of time for most cases. For some things that are a little bit deeper, that go back, for a longer period, it will take, there's more charge to this energy. But for most cases, you will get to the point where you will be able to read out that thought and there's no emotional charge to it. And that means you've diffused it, you've dissolved it. This means there's no more attachment to it, it's not running you. Okay? Because this is the problem where we have thoughts, there's an emotional reaction, and then we create the same result because we take the same actions. And we've got to get our body out of survival. So give that a go. If you're serious about this, I really urge you to try this. Just right now, if you're feeling like you're looking for YouTube videos and you're trying to find something to help you out, just give this a go. Because otherwise, if you move on to something else, you're doing all these different things, that's your subconscious mind is just running you. You're not having any say in it. And it's just going to perpetuate the issue. If you want to take this further and you want to learn more how to do this on a more comprehensive level, check out the link below to my free community. It's called the Healing Hub. I've got trainings in there that take you through this process. This is specifically for you if you're someone who has, as I said, a chronic illness, a condition, or a disease, and you are trying to heal yourself. And you understand that you are in this chronic state of stress and it's related to how you're thinking and how you're feeling. And you want to dissolve all of these old patterns of thinking and feeling and these beliefs and these blocks. And you want to start rewiring new thoughts and new feelings and new beliefs. And become a different person who is beyond all of the suffering that you've been going through. So that will be linked below in the description and the comments. I really hope this video was helpful. Take care. Speak to you soon.